Can I get your shoe for a second?
Yeah.
What in the world?
Well,
Want his shoe?
Yeah, you know what's going to happen. What's he do when he has a shoe in his hand?
Hello, Chief. It's Max.
Max Scherzer's joining the show?
No. I just need
I
Dan
would love
answer.
to talk to Max Scherzer.
Go ahead, answer that, Dan.
Hello.
Mystery caller, how are you? Oh, there it is. Hello, mystery caller.
Bad reception. Hang on, Harold. Okay, we're ready.
All right, here we go. Mystery caller, how are you?
I'm fine.
All right. Okay, so let me throw a couple questions at you, Mr. Caller. How many years, we'll put it this way. Have you been around Major League Baseball very long?
About 60 years.
60 years.
60 years. 60 years you've been around Major League Baseball. 60.
That's
Primarily coach for a team, American or National League?
a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. A little bit of National, a little bit American League. Been around for 60 years. My initial thought was Red Shandies, but that's not going to go.
Do you know Red Shandies, sir?
I'm not Red Shandies.
You're not Red Shandies.
Let me ask you this. Dan, I'm going to give you a little help.
Mystery caller, did you hit a home run off me in my career?
Absolutely not.
Wow.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so let me throw this one at you. Mr. Caller, have you ever been on a team with Dan as a player or a coach?
I have.
Wow.
Wow, as 60 years in the game, player and or coach. Wow. Okay.
You got one more that I'm going to give you a clue because we can't keep them all day doing this.
Manager?
Well, put it this way. When you try to imitate him.
Oh, hey, you got to help me out. Jim Leland! Oh, yes! Hey, Skip, you almost got me fired because they like for me to do imitations of you. And sometimes if I really go full out Jim Leland, I've got to be careful because I can throw some bombs out there real quick.
You like to make fun of me a lot. I know all about it.
Oh, hey, Jim, what was it like having Dan? Is he DJ Dan, Mellow Dan? Who was he when you managed him?
He was pretty much like he is now. You know, very serious when he pitched, very lighthearted off the mound, great personality, terrific competitor, good sliders. Everybody knew the slider when I had him wasn't probably quite as good as it was when he was in Milwaukee, but it was still pretty good. He didn't know very much about horses. The best story, you brought me in a game in Philadelphia against the Phillies, and we went in a pregame meeting, and we talked about the bat speed of Darren Daulton. They had a slider speed bat. Let's just pump the guy with fastballs. So Ray Miller said, we're going to do nothing but fastballs. You brought me into a game, Skip. Fastball after fastball after fastball, and I shook Mark Parent off, and a base hit. Darren Daulton hit a base hit, tied the game up. You didn't even look at me. You walked out to the mound with your arm out. I put the ball in your hand. In the neck after the game, you were hot. And I wasn't sure if Tommy Sant was being honest with me. He said he wants to see you in the office, and he's hot. I walked into the office, and you said for me to meet you in the lobby at 9 o'clock because you wanted me to get tested. And I said, what? Because I want to find out if you're deaf or dumb because you certainly can't follow instructions. And I thought, I wasn't sure if you were kidding or not, and you stone poker faced me, and I walked out, and we ended up winning the game in extra innings. The next day was a Sunday day game at the Vet, and we were standing there for the national anthem, and I'm trying to sneak my way out, and you said to me, hey, how many more games you need to be in? Because you were the best at this. Like, if you had like incentives to get in some games, I said I need a couple more, Skip, for 10,000. And you told me you pull that BS you pulled yesterday, you'll get in one more the rest of the year. Got it? And I was like, whoa, he's really hot. You brought me into the game that day to get Darren Daulton. I know you made 1,000 trips. You handed me the ball. You said, you do it your way, but it better work. And I struck him out with a slider. And I remember when the game was over, you told me, you are really nuts, man. You are nuts.
Jim, is this the best interview you've ever
listened to?
I don't know. I think you said 8 words. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing good, guys. How you guys?
Good.
Good. Oh my gosh, I knew Dan was going to lose his mind. Hey, we do have you on for a reason though, because I want to talk to you about the DH in the National League now. A lot of different stuff. Greg's got some ideas too. So let's talk a little baseball for a second. The DH in the National League is now in both leagues. Easier to manage with the DH or with the pitcher hitting?
Well, I was a little bit different than everybody else. I thought it was actually tougher to manage in the American League. And the reason I say that is I think most of the part of managing, your toughest part is handling your pitching staff. And in the National League, and a lot of times, even if you have a good starting pitcher, just use, for example, a Verlander. But you get behind after 3 or 4 innings, four or 5 runs by chance, your decision's made for you. You got to pinch hit. In the American League, you got to be precise when you take your pitcher out. I think there's more to do in the National League. It's a little more fun, but I think it's actually a little bit tougher to manage in the American League.
Hey, present time. This happened tonight, real time. I know you're watching the Tiger-Yankee game. Pop fly in the first inning. We were talking about it here. What happens with the pitcher in that situation? Should he be trying to catch that, or was that more the first baseman in that situation? What were your thoughts when you saw this happen?
Well, I think originally when the ball went up, I think everybody thought, including him, I think they thought the catcher was going to catch the ball. It looked to me like the wind took the ball back toward the infield, toward the outfield more so, and I think it fooled the catcher a little bit, and I think the pitcher got fooled too, thinking that the catcher was going to originally catch it. And so there was just some confusion, but somebody has to take charge. I think if Alexander would have waved his hands that he's got it, I think, all well and good. The ball would have been caught. I don't know that Torkelson could have got there. But I think originally, Barnhart thought that he was going to catch the ball.
Finally, Jim, are you on Miggy 3000 watch? Number one. Number two, of all the great players you've managed, is he the greatest?
Well, Bonds was the greatest player I ever managed. But obviously, Miggy's right there. Miggy would be second. Larry Walker's right there just as well. So Bonds was the best I ever managed, but they asked me, Bonds or Cabrera better hitter? And I said, well, one's left-handed and one's right-handed, so I'm not going to touch that. But Bonds was the best player I ever managed, but certainly Cabrera is obviously number 2.
And will you try to be in attendance for his 3,000th hit?
No, because that you know how that goes. You can be one day up there, it doesn't happen, stay another day. So I will be up there at some point to congratulate him. I'm going up there later in the year when they retire Lou Whitaker's number, but I will be in touch with Miggy when this happens. We had a lot of wonderful moments together.
Hey, last thing before we let you go. Report came out today with the new pitch clock in the minor leagues. They've knocked 25 minutes off of games. Your thoughts on the pace of play, where we're at now, and how they're trying to fix that a little bit?
Well, I think the problem right now is, first of all, the weather's so bad just about everywhere. I think that's one of the problems. The other problem is if you look at the number of pitches that are thrown in a game now, that's the reasons the games are taking so long. The number of pitches are ridiculous during the course of the evening. I mean, if you look at the pitches thrown tonight, I think Garrett Cole threw 49 pitches in 1 inning. So I love the pitch clock, but I do think that they're going to have to work it out exactly so they know exactly how the pitch clock is supposed to work. When does the pitch clock start? For instance, you strike a guy out and you throw the ball around the horn. Does it start as soon as the third baseman throws it back to the pitcher? If the catcher throws it back to the pitcher, does it start then? I love the pitch clock idea. I think it's great. I think it'll be great for baseball, but I think they better have everything defined exactly how it's going to work.
Real quick, do you agree Clayton Kershaw was not equipped to get 6 more outs for that perfect game? Do you agree with that?
I agree that they should have taken him out. I think it was a smart move on a manager. I think it was a common sense move on the manager. I know fans get hung up on that kind of stuff. We all do. But at this point in his career, especially coming off injuries at his age, definitely a no-brainer in my opinion. Dave Roberts definitely did the right thing.
Oh, common sense.
There
I'm
you
so
go.
tired of common sense.
Greg wanted him to go the distance. We kept saying, Greg, 3 weeks of spring training, he's barely been throwing.
Jim,
you got to make that move.
I want to jump. Dan, go ahead, say goodbye to your old manager.
Skip, you're the best.
The best. See you guys.
Hey,
The great Jim
Thank you,
Leland.
Jim.